Hi, I'd like to show you how something as simple as a little sine wave like this can explain much of the physics and chemistry and all the sciences put together. With this you can explain the myths, the legends, the fairy tales and Bibles and epic poems of every culture under the sun. With this you can acquire an abundance of spiritual wisdom and knowledge and information about the universe. You can learn knowledge and wisdom about how to heal yourself. With this sine wave, you can know where we have come from in history, where we are presently, and where we are going. It also can reveal a lot about what's going to happen in 2012. With this sine wave, I would like to show you how most of the enigmas and puzzles and perplexing things of this world can be explained. Now, I want you to focus on this map. It's a very old map, and as you can see, there is two spheres here, the east and the west, and two hemispheres, the northern and the southern hemisphere. The line dividing the two is the equator. And of course, the sine wave, which goes up 23.5 degrees to the Tropic of Cancer. Here is the Tropic of Cancer. Then goes back through the equator, down to the Tropic of Capricorn. Here is the Tropic of Capricorn. And then returns to its starting position. This is the starting position. And right next to this position, they have the sign of Aries. So the beginning point of this yearly path, the yearly journey of the sun begins in Aries on the 21st of March. As the sun climbs to the northern hemisphere constellations and reaches the 21st of June, it reaches the sign of Cancer. And then as it goes through the equator, there's Libra, the scales of justice. Then they are the spring and the summer months, 3 spring months, 3 summer months for the northern hemisphere. Then, as the sun goes through the equator on the 21st of September, it goes down to the Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees below the equator, and this is because of the tilt of the Earth. So in effect what we have here is the equator and the line of the ecliptic, the path of the sun through the constellations of the zodiac. And that's the yearly sine wave that occurs in our solar system. Now, as I will show later, this is also the daily cycle. Now, I'd like to show you another map. This map also has 12 segments, the equator separating the two spheres, and the sine wave. There is the sine wave which represents the path of the sun. Summer, when the sun reaches the Tropic of Cancer, and winter, when the sun reaches the Tropic of Capricorn, for the northern hemisphere. This map is the whole celestial sphere of the heavens, and it's segmented again into 12 parts. Now, please notice that the heavens also have a celestial equator, and the sine wave, or the ecliptic of the sun, is also shown to pass through the signs of the zodiac. And that again begins with Aries. Aries is the beginning of the sine wave. Libra is always in the middle. Capricorn, Pisces. So what we have in effect, the sun is passing through a 17-degree belt, which is called the belt of the zodiac. Now, This is how the seasons work out. This is spring, Aries, the sign of Aries. Taurus, Gemini. The sun reaches the Tropic of Cancer, so that's Cancer. Leo, Virgo. There is Libra, the dividing line. The two equinoxes are here. These are the only days in the year when the sun splits the day between 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Here we have the longest day of the year, the 21st of June, and the 21st of December is the shortest day of the year. Here we have Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Now, let's fit all that together with a simple graph on the whiteboard. There is the Earth. Here is the equator. Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Capricorn. So, the sine wave begins here on March the 21st. And reaches up 3 months later to the Tropic of Cancer, falls down even further, and then climbs back up again. You can actually bring this around so that you make a linear graph, but for now we shall stick to this sine wave. And what I want to show you from this natural sine wave is how everything can be explained in physics, chemistry, geography, astronomy, cosmology, legends, fairy tales, epic poems, are all to be explained by means of this sine wave. Here we have the 21st of June. Here we have the 21st of December. And here we have the 23rd of September. So we have an equinox, a solstice, equinox, solstice. These are the 4 cardinal points of the year. So if we mark the solstice, the 2 solstices, the longest day of the year and the shortest day of the year like that, we can also bring this around and make a circular graph. The sun, after passing the equator, will spend 30 days in the sign of Aries. Then another 30 days in the sign of Taurus, and then Gemini. These are the spring months. Spring, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. Summer, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. Autumn, or the fall, because the sun falls. And in ancient times, this was considered to be the death of the sun, mid-winter. In fact, Christmas, a celebration which begins on the 21st and is celebrated on the 25th, is nothing other than a solstice celebration. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. These are the winter months. So, we see the annual journey of the sun through the signs. Now, the ancients used to depend on those signs so that they would know what season they were living in and what time to plough and harvest and what time to do certain things. For instance, Aries is the lamb, and the wool of the lamb represents the blossom season, because the year begins here with the blossom on the trees. And when you see those white trees with blossoms in the field, they resemble lambs. Here we have the bull, which in the northern hemisphere is the season for ploughing. And the bull reminds you to take your plough out and plough. Gemini is the sign of generation, and in the springtime you have twin kids, twin goats, twin lambs, and generation. Cancer is the sideways moving animal, so the sun, when it reaches its peak, has nowhere to go but sideways and down. That's why they place that animal there. Leo is the ferocious, roaring animal, the golden-maned one who represents the summer. And of course the dog days occur in the sign of Leo. Heat. Virgo, who holds the sheath of grain in her hands, is the harvest season. September, the scales represent the wine press. This is the wine season. Justice. Scorpio is the red dragon. This is the sign that afflicts the sun and sends it down to its wintry grave every year. Sagittarius, the arrow of Sagittarius, is also inflicting harm on the sun because it's piercing the sun in the heel of winter. Just like Achilles, just like Jesus, a nail in the foot, just like all the heroes who have the weakness in the heel, because this represents the heel of the yearly cycle. Capricorn is the animal that climbs up. And as Cancer goes sideways, Capricorn, which is here, climbs up. Aquarius is the water bearer. It's the rainy season in the Northern Hemisphere. So the sun is getting baptized. And all the church fathers recognized that Aquarius represents John the Baptizer, who baptizes. Pisces is the fishing season in the Northern Hemisphere. So the farmers depended on this. They depended on this science. But not only did the farmers depend on it, so did the astronomers, because they could foretell the seasons and they could foretell things that would come. They could predict eclipses. They could predict certain comets, all with the knowledge of the stars. And this is basically the key to understanding all the sciences. This is the key that syncretizes all the sciences, whether it be physics, whether it be chemistry, alchemy, astrology, astronomy, mathematics. It's all here. What I would like to show you is how the ancients understood this cycle. There's more to it. There is much more to this cycle. This is the yearly cycle. But it also represents the daily cycle. How so? Well, in order to understand this, we need to imagine a 24-hour clock. And you would have 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., 12 a.m. And that's how your 24-hour clock would work. So what the ancients did was they pinned 6 a.m. over to here, March the 21st. So the morning sun rising on the ascendant over here, this would be 6 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., 12 a.m. So conveniently, the daily cycle is overlapped onto the yearly cycle. And the correspondences match perfectly. Because when the sun rises here in the morning, at this point, at 6 a.m., it is the same position, the same point as March the 21st. And you have the morning sun, which is the spring. Then you have the afternoon sun, which is the summer. And of course, the hottest part of the day is 2 to 4. This is 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midday, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. 2 to 4 is the hottest time of the day. Leo, July, August is the hottest time of the year. So the correspondences are perfect. 6 p.m, the sun goes beyond the horizon, down to its daily death, which is called nighttime. Daytime, nighttime. Summer, winter. Equal, equal. Spring, autumn. 6 a.m, 6 p.m. Now, those are 2 cycles. We're looking for 2 more cycles to complete this ancient wisdom. And then once you have the 4 cycles, you will understand all of the sciences. There will not be a science which will escape your understanding. The next cycle we need to overlay on this sine wave, which is, by the way, this sine wave is the letter S in our alphabet, or the number 8. The symbol of eternity, because there's no starting point. It's the only number that does not have a starting point. It goes forever. And this is that science. It is also the cross. The cardinal points make the cross, the holy cross of the Christians. It is also the swastika. Well, I didn't do a very good job of that. Let me try again. It is also the yin and the yang. Etc., etc. I don't want to labour these points, but the next 2 cycles are these. Now, next, in the ancient wisdom, they placed the body of a man inside the zodiac belt. And the head starts, well, in Aries. Now, this particular graph is going the opposite way, counterclockwise, but please disregard that and just take notice of the signs and the correspondences with the human body. Here we have Aries in the head, Taurus in the neck, Gemini in the arms, Cancer in the chest, Leo in the heart, Virgo in the belly, Libra in the kidneys, Scorpio the generative organs, Sagittarius the thighs, Capricorn the knees, Aquarius the shins, and Pisces, the 2 fish, are the 2 feet. So the 2 twins are the 2 arms, and the 2 fish are the 2 feet. Perfect correspondence. Now, when you look at all those signs, you begin to understand many, many more things. You understand why. Here we have another graph. There's Aries, Aries. Taurus, the neck. Gemini, the arms. This is also a very ancient picture, very ancient graph. Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. There is a reason why the ancients left us this wisdom. There we have the same symbols. Leo, the lion heart, always represents the heart. In every astrological system, whether it be the Hindus and the Vedic astrology, whether it be Babylonian, Roman, Grecian, Egyptian, they always have these corresponding animals. The Chinese system is slightly different, but it's the same science. So what we have done now is we've added a third cycle. We see the man, and please take note this correspondence. In the morning, the springtime, when the sun comes up at this point, we have the head. And usually people wake up around about 6 a.m. in the morning, on average, probably, around the globe, and they wake up in the head. Lights go on, and then they go to Taurus represents the mouth. They have breakfast. Gemini is the arms. So it's so clear to see how these three cycles overlap and correspond. The fourth cycle has to do with a 24,000 year motion of the sky, of the stars, and it's called precession or precession of the equinoxes. And it's 24 to 25,920 years long. But let's keep it simple and give it a value of 24,000 years. Now, this is a backward moving cycle. So the sun will go backwards through the signs and spend 2,000 years in each sign. In other words, the equinox of March the 21st will be in that sign for 2,000 years. So we've been in the age of Pisces for 2,000 years, and we're entering the age of Aquarius very soon. We were in the age of Aries 2,000 years ago. 4,000 years ago we were in the age of Taurus. So you see that the cycle goes backwards. Now with this knowledge of these cycles, I would like to invite you, please, to have a look at some of the presentations that I have on my YouTube channel, and where I explain at length how these cycles and the knowledge of the stars above, the macrocosm, and the knowledge of the body in the microcosm can benefit you. What I'm offering is the key to understanding all these things.